Are you thinking about getting a divorce, but you're not 100% sure that this is the right decision? Are you mad at your spouse for something he or she did, and now you are extremely angry at them, and within this rage of anger, you are filing for a divorce or looking for lawyers? If that's the case, then you need to watch this video in which I give you the 3 things that you need to consider before applying for a divorce. Now, divorces are expensive. Divorces are hard. Divorces are painful. But all of that is worth it if you have an unhappy marriage and there is no way you feel you can make it work. I have absolutely no issue with divorce. In fact, I have dedicated this whole month of February to the topic of divorces and breakups alone, the month of Valentine's, in which people are talking about blind love and cheesy romantic things. The reason why I've done that is because divorce needs to be normalized as much as love, relationships, and weddings are normalized. So if you're going for a divorce, I would never tell you not to go for a divorce, because I'm pretty sure you have good reasons why you have those things on your mind. But at the same time, I have also seen women, especially women, but obviously all people, but especially women who have terrible marriages, but they would not go for a divorce. So there are 2 flip sides on it. In this video, I want to talk about people who are thinking about divorce but are just not too sure. Okay, so point number 1, your ego or your pride. Think about the motivation behind getting this divorce. Is it your ego that is wounded? Is it your pride that is wounded? Or is it something that your partner is constantly doing that makes you feel less than or disrespected? And I would explain this further, giving you a few examples. In some movie, I can't remember the name, I think it's Chalte Chalte, Shah Rukh Khan and Rani Mukherjee. They are in this happily romantic, lovey-dovey kind of a relationship, and at some point they are struggling money-wise, and she takes a loan from, I don't know, her friend or family or somebody like that. And apart from the movie alone, I've seen plenty of times when the husband is struggling financially, the wife thinks about some reason, about some way that she can get some money in, and when she does that, instead of appreciating her effort and instead of loving her for being concerned and for doing something about the problems, the husband would take it on his ego and accuse her of hurting his pride, and then take things too far from there, which often leads to breakups and divorces. So are you taking a divorce because of your pride being hurt or because your ego being hurt? I can completely understand some people have issues with their, this is my principle, my value, which is all perfect, which is valid. But you also have to understand the intent of your partner. I mean, this is someone who you promise to spend the rest of your life with. You have to cut them a slack. You have to try to see where they're coming from. You have to give validation to the effort that they're trying to put in. 2-3 days ago, someone asked me in a Facebook group about this thing that a woman who's trying to surprise her husband because he's been working hard and this and that, and the husband apparently doesn't like surprises, so he has made it clear plenty of times to her that he doesn't like surprises, and she respects that most of the time. But for this time, her plan was to tell him to take him to some spa, hotel, weekend, whatever, and she was hiding the tickets in her purse, and she wanted to tell him just a short time before leaving so that he can make up his mind and all of this. Anyway, but when the husband somehow accidentally found out the tickets in her purse, and he got really mad at her, and he screamed at her, and he completely avoided her, neglected her, and ignored her for a week or more than that, because he was angry and mad at her that she planned a surprise visit for him to a hotel weekend getaway so they can have some alone time. This was absolutely surprising in so many ways, because most of the people would be really happy and they would appreciate that, oh, my partner did something to surprise me. And then other people would say that if the husband says he doesn't like something, then you don't go out of your way to do exactly that thing which he has repeatedly told you not to do, because trying to protect his own preference about something. So there are two ways of looking at it, but the thing that I see is that even if your partner felt disrespected, that for some reason you did not honor my wishes, there is an underlying issue as to why he reacted so badly and for so long. In a general relationship, everyday routine, if your partner does something like this, and even though you appreciate the intent, but you are not happy with the effort that they made because it went against your wishes, you could just tell them, you could, ignore them for half a day, afternoon or something, and, mind your own business for a while. And when they apologize and when they say things, then you kind of understand them and you move on. But if somebody is taking it that seriously, that the person who's promised to love you and you're missing his hugs and cuddles and kisses, he is ignoring you for that long, indicates that there is an underlying reason behind it. Now, I don't know what that reason might be. I told her that there is an underlying reason and she should try to find out whatever that is and maybe seek therapy and all of this, because this is not normal behavior. I understand couples fight, couples have arguments, couples disagree on some things, which is all part of your married life, which is absolutely fine. But if somebody stops talking to you for that long, for such a small thing, then there's more to the picture than you can see. So these kinds of things where your ego or your pride is being hurt, you need to think about why these things are important. And if you are applying for a divorce because your pride is hurt or because your ego is hurt, and if something like this is behind your decision, then obviously divorce is not the best thing to do, I think. Point number 2, trading your partner but not the problem. So if you are applying for a divorce, go for it. Everything is fine, but please remember that a divorce will only help you trade your partner but not your problems. If you have a problematic behavior, if you are attracting or falling for the same kind of guy over and over again, then after your divorce, you have to make up your mind to sit down, have an honest conversation with yourself, seek therapy or professional help, seek an expert as to understand why am I going behind the same kind of people. When I am in any relationship, am I insecure? Do I have fear of abandonment? Am I the only child in my family and I am always missing companionship or being social around people? So I'm being desperate. I'm falling for wrong kind of people because of those reasons. Is this something that's happening to you? Or are you someone who has a very happy family, but you're taking everybody else for granted because you think that no matter how many mistakes I made, I can always fall back on my family and use them like a tissue paper when I want to, and when I'm done, when I'm out there with another guy, I'll ignore them for months and then I'll repeat the same pattern again. Is this something that's happening with you? Because if you are getting a divorce but you're not willing to work on your own issues, and by issues I am not saying that there is some kind of fault of yours own. You could be subconsciously making some bad decisions, and whatever decisions you're making, you as a person might not be conscious of them, that you're making these decisions because of those motivations. This is why I constantly ask every one of my fans and my readers and viewers to please seek therapy, because you have no idea how many things you will learn about your own damn self when you sit down with an expert and understand your own psychology. So do that. If you are willing to do something like that, if you are willing to take the time and work on yourself, even in abusive cases, when there is domestic abuse, I would still say after your relationship is over, after you go through the divorce, even before possibly, but certainly after the divorce, sit down with an expert, go through your trauma, grieve that relationship, process that trauma with the help of an expert, and only then you would be able to live a normal life and in future maybe be in a happy relationship with somebody else. Because if you think that you are the moment you dump this guy, your problems are going to be dumped, that might not be the case. So consider taking a divorce only and only if you're willing to work on yourself and to learn about your own self after you're done with the divorce. Point number 3 is taking a realistic look at divorce. What do I mean by that? A divorce is not a magic pill that will end all your problems and make you fly high in the sky or something. A divorce is hard, it is difficult. And in one of my other videos that you might have seen recently, I specifically talk about the financial aspect of the divorce. Because of this very reason, you have to be realistic. You have to know how much resources you have at your disposal. You have to know your options, your opportunities, your strengths and your weaknesses. And being realistic, by that I mean, don't expect this divorce thing to just pass at the snap of a finger, because even if you think that it wouldn't bother you as much, it will bother you. And all the social stigma that comes with it, you'll have to face that as well. But that is not the end of the world. So you have to know the balance between those two things, about the problems that come with a divorce and the benefits that come with the divorce. Definitely the benefits outweigh the problems, because if you're not happy in this marriage, then it is definitely 100% worth it. Go for it. But you have to be realistic. You have to make realistic expectations about what you can and cannot do after a divorce, and how your life would change, and know your own limitations and your own ways of looking at life. So things like that. Being realistic will help you manage your divorce in a much better way than being in a delusional world where you think that when you get a divorce, it somehow be like a magic pill that will end all your life's problems. That's not going to happen. I already spoke about the problems, issues in the second part, but this is what it is. You have to be very realistic about it. It's not gonna be a bed of roses, and it's not gonna be a bed of thorns. Somewhere in the middle, there will be good days and there will be bad days. And knowing your reality, knowing what you are on the ground, knowing your own behavior and patterns and problems, your health issues, your financial issues, your social issues, your family issues, knowing all of those things would work in your favor. You will have your life under your control and organized if you are being realistic about all of these things. So this was the most that I could tell you, the 3 things that I want you to consider before you're applying for a divorce. I hope this helps you, and if you have any questions, please write back to me and reach out on social media. Please give this video a thumbs up and share with anybody else if you think they might find this helpful.